Adventure of the Great Departure. Part 3, apparently. Alright. The recap. I've been accused of murder. And it looked like I was about to lose the trial and go to jail for murder. And then this wee little girl just came in with something wrapped in furoshiki cloth. So we'll find out what that was. We are loading. Woo! Alright. 22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. Ba-da-ba. The drama. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Heh, a judicial assistant? And a woman, no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Huh, you're too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. Hey, look at that. But, Your Excellency! I am most grateful. Alright, what you got? Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. A report about something, written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and, borrowed this paper. Oh, yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? Yes, the murdered professor. So does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I would presume so. I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Give me a second, I'm gonna try and fix my model so I don't look as sleepy. There we go, let's try that. Oh, no, of course not. Something, she's a woman. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Oh look, poison. Probably. Curare? What's that? I've never heard that word before. That's why I'm pronouncing it wrong, because I haven't heard it either. So I guarantee I'm pronouncing that at least somewhat wrong. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. It was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Giselle's report has been added into the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. right, I suppose we'll have a look-see on that report. You've had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I'm sure you can. I swear she's the murderer. Let's have a look-see at this report. A poison made from the bark of certain tree. The hunters have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to his ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed the toxin could have application of it as an anesthetic. A solution for the respiratory arrest caused by the result of full-body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. I can do words, I swear. I was right, there's poison involved. Miss Ma'am? With your ostentatious hat? I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. I know it feels like we're stalling, but we do have new evidence. She wrote a report on a poison. That feels off. Anyway, the unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer? It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but... The Japanese language makes no sense. Oh no, terrible. You're not linguistically advanced. Why are you studying there if you don't think the language makes sense? Anyway. My apologies, dear lady. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? Her report on poisons.
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at UMA University, doing research. I know this feels like a non sequitur. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. Dun dun dun! What? Yeah, I know, dramatic, isn't it? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as curare. I'm still probably pronouncing. I'm gonna actually, like, look up the pronunciation real quick. Don't mind me. Because that's probably a real thing. Curare. Okay. They emphasize that last little bit. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense! Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have done. Okay, that one felt weird. Anyway. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before now. For one very simple reason. Recent discovery? It doesn't exist in our country. Or that. That also works for a... It doesn't exist? Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they'd never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Yeah, I know. Dun dun dun. Let's... Order. Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? I mean, I would presume so. According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? Yeah, to kill things. Surprise! The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. Claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Ooh. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery! Stop using big fancy words. I'm not... Like, I know words. I just don't know those words. I'm gonna assume it means nonsense. But, like... showy but worthless finery. Okay. So pretty much nonsense. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and it's a paralytic, dingus. Other diners would have surely noticed. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. Do the words paralytic poison mean nothing to you? Again, we haven't cleared it up. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. Oh, wow! So sometimes I'm smarter than the main character, and sometimes I have to look up words like trumpery. According to this, however, it's the other way around. Thank you, Kazuma. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that curare was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. I love how it's like, does it say that? I'm not sure it does say that. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible! Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's 'cause you're silly. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. Now you see, the thing about paralysis is if your whole body is paralyzed, that includes your lungs and heart. The full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? Breathing. In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That does sound like a horrid way to die, frankly. That's hideous. Like I said, a horrid way to die. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly curare poison. I almost forgot the little uptick, the emphasis there. Ooh, and the courtroom is silent. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very convenient, isn't it? It's a video game. What did you expect? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All these facts, you think you're so clever, but you must be taught some It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady! Thank you, Ouchie, for your dramatics. So, This is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Enough of this. I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules. What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Oh, she's good. Because it threw open wounds, it said. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Wow, she is like racist. Sorry? To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics. It's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! Wait, what are you doing? No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Goodness, whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no curare. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? Ha ha ha! You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. Oh no, suffering! We're going to lose. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. I love being smarter than the main characters sometimes. Only sometimes. Rest of the time I have to look up how to pronounce curare. So how did she have any like sewing needles or anything in her supplies? Hat pin! Maybe. How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? It says in her research, open wounds. I don't understand it. such as that from a blow dart. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water. Alright, I'm gonna just, can I... Trust me. I know I have, like, 5 little lives, but I'm gonna save just in case. The bottle of water didn't have any poison, because it couldn't have had any poison. Wait, he had a tooth extracted. He had an open wound. Alright, I have saved. Because that has to get into your bloodstream to actually poison you, I think. Let me double check. I'm gonna look it up. Just to... It is a real poison. It exists in reality. It's not, like, made up just for the game. Curare only becomes active when it contaminates a wound or is introduced directly to the bloodstream. It is not active when ingested orally. And Mr. Wilson, like Dr. Wilson, had a tooth out. So he had a way for it to be introduced into the bloodstream. I'm smart. I'm so smart. Also, I know Google Foo. The culprit did put curare poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious?
Objection!
Yes, I'm serious. Fool, are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. Checking. When the poison enters the body through a wound. And I believe that complication can be explained. Don't look stressed. I got you, buddy. How exactly? Need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here. One by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. Has to be. Okay, well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. Do I show that he had a tooth out, or do I show the report? I have lives. keep forgetting to do that. Anyway. Do I show he had a tooth out, or do I show the report that shows open wounds, or how the poison works? Let's start with the report, and if anyone, like, asks further, then we show the tooth thing? Probably?
Yes!
Alright, we'll try this. The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation. No. After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter Oh, wow. It's not gibberish, it's English, and you're an idiot. How about that? We'll go with that. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report? Let's see. Synopsis. Special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this curare poison. And if it's left me curious about something. Oh, Counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years. To lace the heads of the arrows they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, Counsel, no, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? See, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett? You authored this research. You knew curare's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little rapscallion! The swan comes to life. Okay. Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer? Kind of like you're the main character or something. Surprise, surprise. Que surprise. All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. But I fail to see how you... So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. No, it doesn't. Dr. Wilson had a tooth out. Schoolboyish? Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Succus? Succus? That system? It's neutralized by some stomach acid. Pretty much. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Open wound. That's right. Ouchie, getting a second wind. At this point, it's more like a 20th wind, but whatever. Good gracious. No, I've got you. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand. No? Listen. Listen. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same... No! Open... The tooth! The tooth! Are you trying to suggest... Yes, this curare poison is completely irrelevant. It's completely relevant. Shut up. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand. I read that as misunderstand. Could understand something as simple as that. No, I know what's up. What is this welling up inside me? It's an objection! I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all of the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. Ooh! Tutorial quest! Teaching me game mechanics. Wow! And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
Yeah! Baby's first objection! I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone with me? I like her mask, how it changes. Oh, she's so offended. You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you, you must provide compelling evidence. As we now know, this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curare? Teeth!
Take that!
As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? Teeth! The toxic effects of curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have if you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brent, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. She was well aware of the dental appointment, and that's why she chose that day to kill him! With her research. Ah! So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Sip of water. You know, it helps when you want to have a sip of water if you open the cap of the water. Surprise! Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. I'm trying to not go to jail. Leave me alone. You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No! I mean, it could just slip. Dramatique! Ah, shit! Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible, at once! You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Aw, snap. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle, or not. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. That's right, and really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using curare. which I'm sure she did, but she's gonna go like, oh, but there's no evidence now, silly. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. Heh heh heh. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest, delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Ugh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene. Ryunosuke. Yes? We've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head, could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's probably a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Dramatique. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Wilson's real killer must have been is... Can I look closer at a couple of these things, or... I'm gonna guess it's the blood on the steak plate at the very least.
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes? What is it? He's still miles away. Probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute, where are you going? Where are you going with this little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. Dramatique? What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, and the bullet didn't go through, so there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett? I loved, like, the giant, like, oh! The big opera mask. It's amazing. I beg your pardon?
Objection!
This is beyond ridiculous. Fabricated nonsense. Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused apparently just remembered seeing?
Hold it!
Hello, good sir. You do in fact have a steak plate? This could be the moment my entire career in the police force has been leading to. You got a little something. Alright. Yes, I took the plate in the interests of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? Hey, he's a little raccoon man. He's a little raccoon man. Picks up all the trash. I took the steak you'd been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. You got a little something. Are you okay? Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir! He's so thrilled his raccoon tendencies worked out. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. What about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood man, show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. Shwip. This isn't Miss Brett's plate. This is the other plate. Because you said the sergeant also had a steak. So this might be the sergeant's plate. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know, I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. Is this actually Miss Brent's plate, or did you mix the two up because they were both steaks? What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Stop being racist. I couldn't agree more. In the case of this disgrace to the Empire. We'll find out that's the sergeant's plate and then you can suck it. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Ha! This sorry-looking steak revealed the facts all too clearly. The sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again. Be my guest. The plate of steak has been added into the court record. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost. Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. I say this might have been... Oh my gosh! It was the sergeant's plate! I was right! What in the world is this? I think it's a Kaban coin, and the hallmark is from the Hoei era, I believe. I don't mean what is it, I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This is the first time today there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I was right, it's the sergeant's steak. Mr. Policeman mixed up the plates. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bouillon in bouillon. Don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... Alright, I'm gonna continue the dialogue a little bit. Believe in myself. Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. Not been shown to be problematic in any way. Well, you see. Certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. It's from the Hoei era, too. It would make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in the juices as well. Look! What, are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. A Kaban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. Emblem on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a bull, you idiot! It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beefsteak. It seems a lot of different restaurants have their own unique tableware. So this is the symbol of Le Carnaval, is it? Alright, I've investigated the plate. There's a Kaban coin. Lift up the meat off of the plate. Does the fence have any objection? Yes. Lift up the meat and you'll see a coin. Please, wait. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. Lift up the meat and you'll see a coin. We're gonna have a great time.
Objection!
Nope. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. It's completely necessary. I've proven you're a bitch. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? Underneath the meat. Lift! Huh? What in the world is it? It's a Koban coin from the Hoei era. Hoei era Koban, apart from the meat juices, it's in good condition, it's very valuable. The sergeant stole it because he's a jerk. And it belongs into the collector. Oh, I have to I have to present this little coin under the steak. Is there a way to skip this? Need for a prize. Might have the wrong end of the stick.
Got it!
Good gracious, that's... Kaban? What on earth? A Hoera one at that. Miss Brett? This is in fact the beefsteak you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
Shut up!
What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it. Well, you're having part of it. Deal.
Objection!
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction.
Objection!
Don't be absurd. I'm supposed to believe this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Shut up!
Yes, you did. You're accusing me. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial? The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that stake. The owner? Curio correcta. The owner of the koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is... Curio correcta.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be the antique stealer and owner of Rasate, Curio correcta-san. Curie, as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. It's not the Japanese that you're having issue with. It's the fact that Ace Attorney games are chock-a-block with puns. Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying he was up to something with his koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoei era koban, my prized coin. Hoei era koban, do you mean to tell me?
Objection!
No, please, why would Correcta-san's koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and its plate? Makes no sense. Because that was the sergeant's beefsteak and Mr. Policeman fucked up the plates. Which is why I'm asking to bring Correcta-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. Whoop. Can't believe we've come back round to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this koban, we'll find it's a key element in the case. Everyone's here. What's this all about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when cast from this courtroom, I became a ruined man in a trice. A worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasate shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Correcta-san, something has come to light that requires your clarification. As far as your Rasate memory serves, have you ever... That's it! That's the one! The very one! The very exact one that it is! The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that faithful day! Can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means, somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing! Look to the left. That's my suggestion. Excuse me. Could I say something? Go ahead, Hosonaga. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier on in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case. Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. Le Carnaval is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. Attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. We wanted to nip the case in the bud quite quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. So that's why you were set in undercover, is it? Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Kaban incident is the work of the same thief. So unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. I wouldn't call him a master thief if he's hiding his spoils under his meat. That sounded wrong. I'm so sorry. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems. I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korekta-san's koban is all too clear. What? What? Look to your left, Korekta-san. I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korekta-san's koban and hid it under the snake? Yes, sir, no, sir. Boop.
Take that!
Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant, yes, sir, no, sir. What? How? How dare you, you monster! Monster? I stole that koban, did I? I'm the master thief of Le Carnaval, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes? Cadet? But it wasn't me, it was Ido! Ido is the mastermind behind all of this. I'm sorry. That got me. That just... Ido is the evil genius phantom thief. I'm willing to bet Ido thought the thing was shiny and was just like, yoink. You would push the blame for your crimes onto your own son, an innocent little baby? Again, I'm willing to bet that the kid was just like, ooh, shiny. It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. Ew. Ah! Clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop, clippity clop. Ah! Oh my gosh, that's actually that's adorable. Nippon Imperial Army, Sergeant yes sir, no sir, preparing to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. I'm sorry, I love the baby being like, ha ha. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages that the Nippon Imperial Army pays those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. I have heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant. Place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I'd go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak at the same time. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable phantom thief you are. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Bang. Gunshot, dead guy, oh no, crime. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. Ido, too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. I slipped it under the steak, hoping I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. And then Mr. Guy there let his little raccoon tendencies, his grabby hands, get the better of him. And he yoinked 2 plates, a bottle of sparkling water. I'm surprised he didn't take the purse. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time. Well, Miss Brett. Oh, of course, dear lady, of course, how rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. I have cause. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the koban was clearly perpetrated by this baby-saddled sergeant. Yes, but that shows it's the wrong fucking plate, people! Would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder. Because it's the wrong plate! Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. How could he have quickly hidden it under a plate on a completely different table, is the question. Nonsense, is it? And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. I mean, in my opinion, it does depend on the size of steak, because if you have a little tiny finger food, like, cut off piece of steak, maybe wrapped in some dough or something. Actually, that would be pretty tasty. Never mind. I'm gonna stop talking about food. Shush. Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. I do. We have the wrong plate. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. No! Don't. She will run. She will run fast. She will run far. She will run. And good day. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. That's him realizing we've got the wrong plate. Oh, no, it's just... Something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. Which part? The good luck, everyone? I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. Sorry, my eye is itchy. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. Something didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard. Picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Parting words, the good day? I'm not sure. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over. Let's be dramatic. Objection! Or hold it. Hold it works. Wait, Miss Brett. What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, something I'd like to ask you. I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
Objection!
Of course. What new student nonsense is this? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryunosuke? I don't know. Personally. Sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. Something about the steak, I guess. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. Wild guess. The plate of steak. Just save real quick. Anyway. The wildest of guesses. Go!
Take that!
The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. These are very important hairs to split. Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural? I did think that, like, when I was looking at it the first time, I was like, why does that look like bite marks? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at this steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Ah! Looks like Miss Brett has realized something. So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without a knife and fork, There shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. Ooh, we're turning things around. But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenous. Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Oh, you're just stressed because we're riding you hard. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place. I am actually getting startled by her interruptions. I've heard enough, you irritating little spectacled samurai relic. Oh, of course, dear lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steak have for her. Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Trust me, I've got this. Probably. Yes, now at last, it's all come together. Mysterious teeth marks in the steak that had been allegedly eaten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that these teeth marks in the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, Counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Shut up!
I will not! How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase, typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been what? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean the evidence does not exist. It's the other plate!
Objection!
It's absurd. The trial has run several hours already. Yes, and I'm tired. You say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it. Let's see, several hours. I'm checking how long this trial has in fact run. Alright. Almost 4.5 hours, in fact. Woof.
Objection!
I don't, but there is someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. Dun dun dun. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, we'll solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence? Boop, 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 boop. Mr. Raccoon himself! Presumably. Because he said he had both... He said he had both steak plates.
Take that!
So I hope I'm correct. The answer is obvious. Inspector Hosonaga. Mr. Little Grabby Hands himself, Mr. Crime Scene Thief. Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? Not necessarily on purpose. That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on this steak with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to Correcta-san's coin, he told us he slipped it under the steak. You watch, Cadet? Watch it, Cadet. I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Tension? Affirmative. Of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Attention!
But that makes no sense. The plate that was taken from the victim's table.
Objection!
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well, I will affront the Empire all I like. 'Cause you didn't steal, but you might it. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly, surely you're not going to suggest the sergeant switched the two steaks over. Not the sergeant, no. Or at least not necessarily the sergeant. Okay, he might have, because that's a reaction of, yeah, he did that. So that feels like he did it. You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, the, bang, gunshot death, blah blah blah. When I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my steak and hid the coin underneath it. Then when the waiter announced he was an undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my steak with the one on the foreign lady's table. You can't have... I never saw you do such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. However, fear not, Prosecutor-san. What did you do? What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform that is all I did, sir. All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Which means that Mr. Little Grubby Raccoon Hands, who took both plates... Okay, so he didn't confuse the plates. He was misled. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both. That's probably not very tasty, Miss Brett. I would not recommend gnawing on your opera mask. Anyway, that's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment when he was shot.
Shut up!
What can that possibly tell us now? You know, the thing I wanted the plate to tell us originally? I mean, a cooled slab of tough meat? It can't have the slightest bearing on the case. The plate, however...
Objection!
You're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady. I beg your pardon? I am imagining the taste and texture of that, and it's nasty. Not the slab of meat, like the opera mask, but she's like, Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? Huh, you're the one who decided it was a problem, not me. Yeah, but... The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defendant remembers seeing. Thinks he remembers. No, remembers. We'll see blood on that plate, I can tell you what. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett. Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident. Yes, sir! Ooh, the drama. There's the second beefsteak. Sorry for keeping you. Hey look, blood! Here is the other steak and its plate. Please, feel free to examine it. Hey look, blood. The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. It can't be. In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. Again, imagining the taste and texture of the opera mask is just like, bleh. That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Alright, come on. Classic third act Ace Attorney breakdown. Oh, the poor swan. Oh. Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! Yeah! Oh, the little chick. Oh my goodness. Ah! The classic third act Ace Attorney breakdown. Oh, a little black chick. Okay, bye. The babies. They're so cute. That's adorable. Why did she have a live swan buckled to her hat? Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Uh-huh. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me. Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth, this time. Gladly, Your Excellency. The truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Sip of water. This is a lot of words, don't worry about it. It was I who took the professor's life, using curare. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning. So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water? Because curare is unheard of here in Japan? Yes. Of course, I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would all be over. Replace the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he'd been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table. Oh my gosh, I ruined her murder plans by going, "Hey, hi, I've seen you around the school before." That would be me, I suppose. Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact you decided to come over to greet the professor meant I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment. A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man. I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt. I figured it was like hidden under her skirt or her hat or something. And that wouldn't be found in a search because the Japanese politeness wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let me just look under your skirt. So I was right. There were 2 guns. Yes. And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure I would notice it. And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up, so you didn't need to shoot him, but that's when you shot the professor with your own gun, even though at that point he was already dead. Naturally, the gunshot caused commotion, at which point the waiter appeared. Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside. That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around. Because, of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor. A little more than a misdemeanor there. Bit of an understatement. Your Excellency? Yes? I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later? I don't trust this chick. Really, I don't. I shall call on you. Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san. You really think you can just walk out of court after confessing to murder? Anyway, I'm not guilty, punk! It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Taketsuchi Ouchi does not lose. Not the likes of this rookie student. You'd better start getting used to tough opposition. Ah! Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I believe I've made a rivalry. What, yes? This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten. You've become conceited with age, Council, but the old have to stand aside and make way for the new. It's the way of the world. May you never forget that. Is he actually going to pull out his sword, or is he just going to stance like he's going to? Hey! Aha! The top knot has been freed. 1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan. I mean, he's right. Because I was calling that guy ye old Winston Payne. Yeah. In the first couple of games, the tutorial prosecution was Winston Payne and his brother. I don't remember his brother's first name. Gaspin? No, that doesn't seem right. I'm looking I'm looking him up. Winston Payne. Yeah, it was Gaspin. Where Winston and Gaspin Payne, they're Japanese names. Instead of Payne, it's Ouchie. So, yeah, the Ouchie clan. This trial in the Supreme Court of Japan will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. I thank you, Your Excellency. $5 that Ryunosuke is actually the ancestor of Phoenix. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like I cannot begin to imagine. Very similar to this. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi. Yes? After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. Oh, am I going to go with him? And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. The mission! That was in red, that's important. I understand, Your Excellency. The mission! What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden? Never mind. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? In you, I sense... how can I put it? Unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards. Thank you, Your Excellency. Not guilty. It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, not guilty. Ta-da! Jazz hands, all that. Hey, I was right! The ancestor of Phoenix! So this is, like, direct. Like, this is like, oh, it's the beginning of the justice system. Except they actually set this one in Japan and not California. Because for whatever fucking reason, the localization moved everything to California. And they made Maya obsessed with hamburgers. I don't know what she goes after in the original Japanese, but... Hell yeah. I was right. 22nd of November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants Antechamber 5. Ramen. Thank you. I wasn't sure. Can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I wasn't going to say ramen because I was like, I think it's ramen, but I don't want to look like a dingus. And it turns out I look like a dingus anyway. I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial. Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma. It was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra-large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know? Oh, no, I didn't do anything. Thank you so much. I will interrupt you. If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words shouldn't really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Ah, Professor What's-His-Nuts. Susato Mikotoba. Speaking of Mikotoba... Whoa, there he is. Hello. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job. Thank you, Professor. Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Oh, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it? That's right. Professor Mikotoba studies overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson? Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital. You worked together? I've never heard you mention that before. Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn, Asogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. Looking up a different character now. Nope, okay. I was incorrect on that one. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. His blade shows me where I need to go. and cuts down anything that's in my way. I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder. Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... We mean... Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. Something, possibly extradition? I don't know. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. Oh my gosh. Why is she... What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. Why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Hi, hello. Inspector Hosonaga? It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate... What's all this about? Consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan. We can't try her? British citizen killing another British citizen, extradition, blah blah blah. But then who's going to bring her to justice? A British consular court will hear her case. Somewhere far away, where our voices can't be heard. But why a consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right. So long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that. British citizen killing another British citizen, etc., etc. Can't they? She's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan. I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. I'm gonna at least finish the first case and try to go on to the second case. Try. Oh, these things drag. But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Beep beep, hello, change is your Uber, I'm outside. I think that's enough seriousness for now. It's a good thing I tried to bring up the atmosphere with the... This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But, Professor... You're right, this is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start by having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? I have so many concerns for this man's health. Let's not worry about details for now. I have so many concerns for your health. That's the detail I'm worried about. To Le Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course! Le Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh, yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke? I just wanted to say thanks again, that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Well, not all of it. There were a couple moments where you were like, hey, thing. Your skills made the difference, though. One day I'll bet you'd be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. Come on, be serious. Very serious. Serious as a heart attack. I will be right back. Okay. I'm back. I am unmuted, I had to check. Come on, be serious. We are being serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I just did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you. That's the point. Sorry? What do you mean? That's the point? Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Trust in the defendant! Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in even then? Well, that's not something anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, You faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Ooh, serious moment. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Oh, you're still here, are you? You interrupted our moment, sir. Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. So my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma, Professor Mikotoba, Susato-san, who acts as my assistant, Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. First case finished, first trial over. Woo! Defense debut. Yes, I'd like to save. The Adventure of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Intriguing. Let's get a start on that. I don't know how far we'll get into it before I go, but, you know.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath. In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band. I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Oh yeah, spoiler alert for a Holmes story, I guess. That is what actually happened in the Speckled Band Sherlock Holmes story. It was a snake
So
the whole time.
let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor.
In Russian, it looks like.
Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle. A Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then. And the letters are well formed, suggesting he was compos mentis at the time. This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
There's a guy in that closet.
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
No one must touch before maritime police come. We must wait.
Shh. That won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
Was Ryunosuke in that closet? Was this another incident of me being accused of murder for absolutely no fucking reason? Ugh, my head is throbbing. Ah, yeah, he was in that closet, wasn't he? What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Oh shoot, snap. I think I was in that. Wait, I can't move. Chained in the closet. Ugh, what the? Why am I in handcuffs? Wow, you have sucky luck. So, you wake up now, We had to drag you out of the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. Oh, fucking boy. Accused of murder again. Poor Ryunosuke. You found me then. Duh. We found you. And now you pay. Criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is, Oh, no, I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Wow, you believe that... You helped me get free from the first one. Why are you thinking I'm a murderer now? Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Oh my gosh, Kazuma's dead! Where's Kazuma? Ha! You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in the sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not too long ago. Here, in this very cabin that was bolted shut from the inside. And see, I feel like that loose, thingamajig on the wall. No aspersions on Mr. Sholmes, but... His body? And also, why would Kazuma scrawl a Russian word? Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead? Oh, that's sucky. But he can't be. And these handcuffs? Surely you don't think I I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? For one thing, why would he? They're besties. Answer me, please. No. No! Oh, that's a lot of O's. I'm not... Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? Oh, he hid me. Oh. And now he's dead. Poor guy. It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. Thought I was gonna die. Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No, but if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. Kazuma would not be scrawling in Russian. Is he actually who's dead? I know it's cramped, but you'd better get in there, I think. Won't be for long. Anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. Tell you what, why don't you write "keep out" or something on this piece of paper? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. I don't know. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer. No, I'm not a murderer. Da, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on this ship, but murdering my best friend? Like I said, they're besties. Why would he kill him? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Sasato-san? Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. Oh, I see why it's the speckled band. Big old vent. And I'm terribly sorry, but I will be leaving it there. I will see everyone on Monday for more Ocarina of Time.